Commander Zaraeth of the Velkreen Diplomatic Corps had faced down warlords, negotiated with hive minds, and once stared into the void of a collapsing star without flinching. But nothing in her 3 decades of service had prepared her for the strange brown liquid the human ambassador had just offered her. Coffee, Ambassador Chen said with that peculiar facial contortion humans called a smile. It's a traditional greeting beverage on Earth. I promise it won't violate any of your dietary restrictions. We had it analyzed by your medical team. Zarath's translucent blue skin rippled with uncertainty. The Velkreen prided themselves on their steady, methodical nature. Their civilization had reached the stars through careful planning, not the reckless innovation that seemed to define humanity. Still, diplomacy demanded certain courtesies. She lifted the ceramic vessel to her lipless mouth and took a cautious sip. The taste was bitter, complex, unlike anything in the Velkreen chemical repertoire. She swallowed politely and set the cup down, already composing the diplomatic praise she would offer. But then it hit her. Her twin hearts began to pound in rapid succession. Her pupils dilated to twice their normal size. Most alarming of all, her thoughts began to race at a speed that would have required meditation drugs back home. Information that normally took her minutes to process suddenly crystallized in seconds. The treaty proposal she'd been struggling with for days suddenly made perfect sense. She could see the flaws, the opportunities. The entire negotiation matrix laid bare before her enhanced consciousness. Ambassador, she said, her voice unusually sharp. Clause 17 violates the Sector 9 trade agreements, but if we modify subsection 4 and link it to the agricultural provisions in Article 23, we can create a framework that benefits both our species while maintaining compliance with Galactic Council regulations. Ambassador Chen's eyes widened. That's exactly what our analysts concluded after 3 weeks of study. What is this substance? Zarath interrupted, her normally calm demeanor shattered by the torrent of mental energy flooding her system. What have you done to me? It's just coffee, Chen said, looking genuinely confused. Caffeine. A mild stimulant. Humans drink it to wake up in the morning. Mild? Zarath stood abruptly, her movements faster and more precise than any Velkreen should be capable of. I can think of 17 different solutions to the border dispute in Sector 12. I can see the mathematical patterns in your ship's hull design. I can hear the electrical current running through your data pad from across the room. She paced the chamber with unprecedented vigor, her mind cataloging, analyzing, processing at speeds that terrified and exhilarated her in equal measure. How do you function like this? How do your people maintain social order when every individual possesses this level of cognitive enhancement? Ambassador Chen finally understood. He'd seen the Velkreen's methodical nature, their careful deliberation. What was routine for a human was apparently overwhelming for them. Commander, you need to understand humans evolved with this. Our entire civilization is built around this level of mental stimulation. Most of us can't function without it. Impossible, Zarath breathed, but even as she said it, pieces clicked together. Humanity's inexplicable rise from a single planet to an interstellar power in mere centuries. Their chaotic but effective military strategies. Their maddening ability to innovate and adapt faster than any other species. You're all like this? All the time? Well, some of us drink more coffee than others, Chen admitted. But yes, basically. We're naturally wired for higher baseline stimulation. It's why we seem so hyperactive to other species. Zarath collapsed back into her chair, her mind still racing but beginning to understand the implications. The Galactic Council has been wrong about humanity. We thought you were reckless, impulsive, but you're not acting without thought. You're thinking faster than we can follow. Your mistakes aren't from lack of planning. They're from having too many plans occurring simultaneously. That's actually a pretty good summary, Chen said, impressed. The Velkreen commander looked at the innocent cup of coffee with new appreciation and profound wariness. This changes everything. If my people could harness this even temporarily, we could accelerate our research by decades, but... She paused, feeling the first hints of an unpleasant jittering in her limbs. There must be costs. Nothing this powerful comes without consequences. Crash comes in about 4 hours, Chen confirmed, along with irritability, headaches, and a desperate need for more coffee. We call it addiction. Of course you do, Zarath said, finally understanding why humans seem so determined to carry their customs to every corner of the galaxy. They weren't being culturally insensitive. They were literally dependent on their stimulants to maintain their normal cognitive function.
And every human drinks this?
Roughly 85% of adults daily. Zareth's enhanced mind was already calculating the implications. An entire species, naturally operating at cognitive speeds that required chemical enhancement for other races. No wonder humanity had seemed so formidable. They weren't superior. They were simply playing the game of civilization at a different clock speed. "I need to contact my superiors," she said, standing with renewed purpose, her diplomatic protocols now crystal clear in her stimulated mind. "And, Ambassador, I'm going to need the formula for this coffee." "For research purposes, of course." Chen smiled again, that strange human expression that suddenly made perfect sense. "Of course, Commander. Welcome to being caffeinated. Just remember, we humans have been managing this for thousands of years. You might want to start slow." But Zareth was already drafting her report, her thoughts moving at impossible speeds, understanding for the first time why humanity had seemed so alien. They weren't just another species. They were operating on an entirely different frequency, and she had just been given a glimpse into their accelerated world. The coffee cup sat empty on the table, innocent and revolutionary all at once.